Hi guys! Okay, so today we're going to talk about spooky camping stories. So I have a lot, so we're just going to do one today. We're going to do, it was when I was camping at a lighthouse actually. And apparently this lighthouse had a story about there was like a bunch of people who were, or a bunch of soldiers who were put in this lighthouse and was like shut and they like all died from starvation or something in it, and we camped at that campground that was right there. And so we were camping there, and me and my friends, like, we always saw things that weren't really there. So one time we were going to the bathroom, which was like we had to cross the street and go up into this building. And so we got out of our tent in our pajamas, and we walked over. We're getting ready to walk across the road, and we saw this like thing of energy bounce across the road, and we all like jumped up and started screaming, and it was kind of hilarious. But and then we were like, oh my god, what was that? I was like, it was probably like a ball of energy or something, I don't know. So we just and then we did that for a few minutes. We just stood there, and then people came out of the tent to see if it was still there, but it was gone. We didn't know where it went or anything. So we just stood there on the side of the road in our pajamas, and we all had to pee really bad, but we just stood there. And then finally, I was like, okay, what are we doing? And they were like, I don't know. And then we just crossed the road. So we crossed the road and we went to the bathroom. And then inside the bathroom, I think I remember like the lights flickering. Like, yeah, they were turning off and on. And then we all quickly went to the bathroom and got out of there as fast as we could, so that we could. And then we ran back to the tent and went to sleep. And then we got up the next morning. Well, the next morning we saw the same thing, but it was faster, like the thing bouncing across the road. And it was just like, we didn't know what it was. It didn't actually look like a ball. It looked more like just a bundle type thing, like a bundle. It wasn't like an actual shape or anything. And we were like, oh my god, what is this? I was like, it's probably just the same thing we saw last, and I don't think it can actually do anything to us. So, and then we just got out of the yeah, and then we just like went and did what we were doing that day. Like, we hiked and we went on walks. We went up to the store and just hung out and cooked and stuff like that. And then there was that night there's we were it was father-daughter camping, but my dad didn't go, so another dad adopted me for the night. So we were camping another night, and we were pranking. So we were putting this one dad's tent up in a tree. So of course we like got a huge fishing rod, because we fished that weekend, and put a hook on it, like an industrial hook or whatever. And then we cast it over and reeled up the tent into the tree. And then me and my two friends went to go get the dad and his daughter, who were at the pier. And we went to go get them, and we saw a person. It was like a shadowy person standing by a pole. Except there wasn't a person. It was just a shadow, and it was really creepy. And then my friend screamed and pushed me towards the shadow and ran the other way. So I'm standing there laughing my head off, like, oh my god, you pretty much just sacrificed me to the dead. And they're still screaming, and I'm like sitting there laughing, and then we turn back, and it's gone. Like, it was never there. And I swear to god, it was like this soldier. They had like you could see like the medals and stuff on it. Like, it was a person, but they didn't have like a face or anything. It was just all black and gray and white. It wasn't like an actual uniform or whatever. And it didn't actually have skin color or eyes or anything. It was just black and white. But we could still see like the outlines of the clothing and stuff. So I walked over to the post, and I'm like, there's nothing here. Did we just see it? Did I just see it? And I just said something, so they pushed me towards it? Or what? So they run back to the other dads, and I'm standing there trying to figure it out. So I walk over to it, and I touch it, and I couldn't feel anything weird or anything. Like, they say if there was something there, you would get like a cold chill or something. but I didn't feel anything at all. So me and my friends ran back to over where our dads, because mine wasn't there, where everyone else's dads were at. And they're all screaming, "Oh my god, there was a person over on that pole." Because it was like one of those road signs where it's like just like a pole and then like a green street name at the top. And they're like, "Yeah, it was probably just a soldier." And we're like, "You took us to a haunted campground." And they're like, "Yeah, didn't you know that?" We're like, no, not really. I don't think we would have come if we would have known it was a haunted campground. Because we've gone camping not hundreds, that's a little exaggerated, but tons of times before, but if we would have known that it was something like that, I don't think we would have gone. And then there was, yeah, there's more. We're gonna get into pranking now because that is a little scary. So we were going on a night hike. We all had like glow sticks and stuff on, and we're walking, and I'm like, "Guys, did you hear something?" They're like, "No." I was like, "I heard something in the woods." And they all look over to where the noise was, and then we hear it again. They're like, "Oh my god, I heard it that time." And I was like, yeah. I said there was a voice, not a voice. There was like rustling with like leaves and stuff from walking or whatever in the woods. And then, so we keep walking, and I'm like, and he's like a Girl Scout leader, but he's a dad. So, yeah. And we're walking, and he's like, "Okay, guys, stop here." We're like, "Why are we stopping in the middle of nowhere?" Like, all these things have been happening with, like, spiritual stuffs, and you're telling us to stop at, like, a fork in the road. It's like an actual road, but it was, like, in the middle where there was no one else but us. And we're standing there like, "Oh my god, what does this person have planned?" So we, like, stand there for a few minutes. We're like, "What's going on?" And then I'm like, "He's gonna have something jump out at us." And they're like, "No, and he's like, "No, that's not it." And he's not a very, yeah, and he was like, "No, that's not it." And we were like, "Okay, so what is it?" He was like, "I just wanted to stop. I can't breathe. We need to take a break." So we were all just sitting there drinking water out of our water bottles. And then he's like, "Guys, come here. I need to show you something." So we walk over to him, and then this one of the dads jumps out of the woods with a wolf mask on. And everyone else is screaming. I'm like, "I told you guys." And I'm sitting there laughing. And they're like, "Oh my god, we should have listened to you." And I was like, "Yeah, that might have helped." Okay, but still, that's not all. This is another prank. So me and my friends were in our tent, because I had brought my big 10-person tent that we have for my family when we go camping. And, so we all went into the tent, and we're all just laying in there. And then this one girl was giving one of my other friends, back massage. So she has her actual shirt pulled up and everything, and she's massaging her back. And then we hear our zipper door opening, the zipper of our tent opening. So we all look over to where it is, and we see a hand. But it isn't the hand. That's the problem. It was what was in the hand. He threw a bunch of frogs at a bunch of 12 and 13-year-old girls. So then everyone's screaming, and my one friend Summer's just standing there trying to get all the frogs up, and everyone else jumps out of the tent. The girl had her shirt pulled up, wraps the tent door around her, and they're all screaming, and then there's like frog juice all over our stuff, because we had just like our sleeping bags and everything laid out, and our clothes were hanging out of our bags and everything. And we're just sitting there, and they're all just sitting there screaming, and I go back in the tent, and I pick the frog up, and we're like throwing them out of our tent. And then my one friend takes a frog and throws it at someone, and they're all screaming again. And we're like, "Oh my god, why? Why would you throw frogs at a bunch of 12 and 13-year-old girls?" But it was a pretty good prank. Then there was another time. So again, we were all